Hello, one and all. Welcome back to yet another edition of the AGPC, the Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast. You know who I am. You know what this is. You bitch. Love ya. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Commenting and subscribing being the two most effective tools in your arsenal. So whip them motherfuckers out, jack it a little bit, and comment all over that bitch. And subscribe all over this bitch. I hate when people say smash. I'm gonna just say jizz. Jizz on that subscribe button. Jizz your comments in the section below. Or if do girls jizz? Do you call it jizz? Come? Squirt? Squirt. Right. Squirt on that comment section. If you would be so kind. You know who I am, and I am back to deliver your dose of nonsense for the day. Yay! I am currently wearing another, as promised, tacky Hawaiian shirt that I never got to wear to my company's luau. This one is slightly less tacky than the one before. If you're not currently watching the visual experience, it is black with a bunch of bright yellow sunflowers on it. The one I wore before was especially tacky, but this one is just a little better. I think I look a little bit better in it. You know, I just never got to wear it, and I'll probably never wear it again unless it's requested that this is the new theme of the show. The Average Guy's Guide to Hawaii. The Average Guy's Guide to the Tropics or some shit. I've never been outside the country. I plan on doing it. Just hasn't happened as of yet. How are you doing? I still have COVID. All right. So now that that's out of the way, I feel fine. I am slowly starting to get my taste back. I can taste, kind of. You know, I made some chili. And when I say made, I mean I opened the can and I put it in a pot. I can make chili from scratch, but I don't have the ingredients. So when I say made, I loosely made some chili, and I was like, oh, this is kind of chili. It's just mostly hot, though. I could taste hot. I was sweating worse than I was in the previous podcast. But it's slowly coming back. I'm going to order some food. Going to give it a test. And hopefully it's back to a place where I can actually enjoy food again. Because I've been wasting away. But I don't know. It's weird. It like curves your appetite when you don't have like the anticipation of wanting to taste food. Like most of the hunger that we get is from the enjoyment of the flavor of the food. And once that's gone, it's like, why the fuck am I eating? What is this fucking textured, flavorless gruel that I'm eating? What is this? But hopefully my money doesn't go to waste because I'm actually using this as a cheat day. And I'm going to order myself some fucking Popeyes. And no, not the sandwich. I want some strips, some fucking Mardi Gras mustard, and some goddamn red beans and rice and fries. Woo! Woo! That's some good shit. So hopefully my taste is back enough where I can at least slightly enjoy it. God, DoorDash and taxes is a lot, man. It's a lot once it adds up. Like, you buy something that's fucking $9 on the menu. By the time it gets to your door, you spent $35. Fuck, if I'm spending $35 on a single meal, I at least want to taste the motherfucker. Mother Nature, why did you go and create this thing that does this to people while it kills other people? I'm sorry for everyone that's had horrific experiences with this virus. My condolences. I'm just poking fun, just being a dipshit. So please don't think that I don't have any compassion for those who've actually struggled with this illness. I just want to be able to taste shit. Speaking of tasting shit, not literal shit, but tasting things. I used to steal. Well, that escalated quickly, didn't it? I used to steal things. And I hope the statute of limitations have passed. I'm pretty sure they have by now. But I used to steal things. I was very good at it. Was very good at it for a very long time. And any authorities watching this, I have reformed my life. I now purchase everything that I own. I no longer steal, okay? All right? I value money in the exchange of currency for goods or products or services. I'm reformed. I've never been to prison or jail for this, by the way, either. But I did, as an after effect, kind of like post-traumatic stress. Like very shortly after I ended my career as a petty thief, I was paranoid that whenever I was exiting a store, they would assume that I was stealing. So I'd be paranoid, like, is the fucking alarm gonna go off? Is it gonna go off? Like, are they gonna find me with something? Knowing I didn't take anything, but it was just the years of going through that and trying to look normal or remain calm while you know you got a pocket full of shit or a coat full of shit or a bag full of shit. Yes, pockets, coats, bags. It escalated. And we're going to be getting into that. But I want to know down in the comments, have you ever stolen anything? And if you weren't the stilly type like I was, I wasn't a klepto or anything. I stole kind of for survival. We're going to get into that though. But I want you to know in the comments, have you ever took anything? What's the biggest thing you ever stole? Or what's the smallest thing you ever stole? What did you take? And if stealing wasn't your thing and you didn't want to risk it, what was your thing? What did you do, people? You fucking degenerates. What did you do that you know you weren't supposed to be doing, but you got away with it? You got away with it. What did you do? Did you sneak your fucking mother's underwear out of her drawer and then slip them on? And you were a boy? You fucking weirdo. I mean, by all means, if you are of the, the like to kiss other guys variety, or maybe you want to be a girl variety, all power to you. But that's something you ain't supposed to be doing. I want to know, what is it that you did? What small little petty crimes did you commit? We're all going to get arrested together, but don't admit them if they haven't yet passed the statute of limitations. So how did I begin my short-lived, but kind of long-lived, I would say, career as a petty thief? Well, it started out of fun, really. I grew up in a very poor neighborhood of Chicago. Everyone that listens to this podcast knows this. And I grew up in poor neighborhoods because we moved around from one poor neighborhood to another, majority black communities. And I want to say when I was around 12, we moved to a neighborhood on the west side of Chicago, on Central Park and Polk. Shout out to the west side. West side crazy. West side crazy. Chicago. So it was people that lived underneath us, and I don't remember their last names, and I barely remember their first names, but I think it was an Anthony and a Joshua and a Michael. I believe those were the three boys. Jeremy. Anthony, Jeremy, and Michael lived below me. Check out my fucking memory, right? Fuck you. But Anthony, Joshua, I call him Josh again. Anthony, Jeremy, and Michael lived below me, and we called them the dirty boys downstairs. Me and my sisters, we called them the dirty boys that lived downstairs. And this wasn't a slur. This was not talking about them. This was speaking factually. They literally played in dirt. They were dirty. They were always shirtless. Always shirtless and covered in dirt. So the dirty boys downstairs. And I never once thought that I was going to become sort of friends with these fucking filthy animals that like to play basketball in a dirt patch with a rim that didn't have a net in dirt. Like the basketball that they played with was always brown. Basketballs aren't supposed to be brown unless it's like one of those old school leather fucking basketballs. But it was strange. But eventually we ended up hanging out because I like to play basketball, and there was nowhere else to go where I could play with other kids. I was 12. I'm a child. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to just play with the dirty boys downstairs. And we got to playing, and their cousin would come over. The cousin name was Man or Man. I don't know his real name, but if you from the hood, there's fucking Mans everywhere. I don't know his fucking real name. But he was their older cousin. He was a teenager, maybe like 16. maybe 16, 17. And he used to kind of organize us in like dunk contests and stuff. So we got closer and closer over the years. Well, I won't say years, months. And we just started to hang out outside of the dirt patch where we played basketball. So I got to learn what they were into. Turns out they were fucking degenerates and they were into degeneracy. Is degeneracy a word? Gonna say it is. That's what they were into. Doing bad shit. For example, one of the things that we did was we would walk down Central Park over the expressway bridge, and we would bring our basketballs with us. And one of the basketballs got flat. So what did Michaels do? Or not Michael, Anthony. Anthony was the oldest brother. I think he was 1 year older than me, so it was maybe 13. So he threw the ball on the fucking expressway like a maniac. He threw the ball without telling anybody and ran. And I was like, oh shit. This is like do or die time. Like, are we bonding in criminality right now? Or am I gonna be one of those goody two-shoe boys? I was never one of those goody two-shoe boys. Kinda. Maybe. It depends on who you ask. But if you ask this specific group of people, they knew that I had potential to be a criminal. So I was like, fuck it. I threw the basketball I had. It wasn't even deflated. Still had air in it. Still viable basketball that could be used to shoot the hoops. I was like, fuck it. I threw my basketball on the expressway too, and we took off. And that was the birth of our criminal bonding. And I pray, oh God, please, I hope no one died. That's a terrible thing to do. But when you're bored and a group of young men, not young men yet, but young boys with all this adolescent energy, all this, we're just starting to get our little dicks hard. We don't know what's what. Girls are looking at us. We don't know why. It's a strange period where you have to figure some shit out. And I figured, I guess I'd dabble in criminality for a little bit. So I dabbled. And that was the birth of it. And it escalated from that point. So next, our hobby. And here's another thing that you motherfuckers that's judging me on the other side of this camera need to understand. We didn't have distractions like you motherfuckers do now. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have ready internet access. Our internet still had to be fucking dialed up, okay? We still had to wait. And the boobs was pixelated. We couldn't see shit. Speaking of boobs, I'm gonna digress a little bit here. Showgirls again. Am I right? Have you seen it yet? Have you watched it at this point? What the fuck did we think was attractive back in the day with these fucking skinny chicken ladies? Like, these skinny fucking chicken ladies with these weird fatless bodies. Like, I understand. Being in shape is good. And we all want to have a little less of a tummy. I get it. But why did we ever think these grown women that were shaped like teenage boys with tits were attractive? Why did we think this? And they were strippers. They were the ones that were getting all the money. But anyway, so we didn't have hobbies, okay? So it escalated. We had to find things to do. Our next thing to do was collect glass bottles en route to Roosevelt. And if you're from Chicago, you know what I'm talking about. You walk down, I believe that's Tallman, on your way to Roosevelt. And glass bottles were aplenty because motherfuckers love to drink in the hood. It was beer bottles, Hennessy bottles, fucking gin bottles. But we mostly picked up, smaller beer bottles, and they were everywhere. And we collect as many as we can, and we, go under the viaduct and then just throw them. Just create a pool of glass for the cars to run over, hoping that we could flatten one of their tires. I'm looking at you right now. Don't you fucking judge me, okay? I haven't even gotten to the stealing yet. Oh my God, I did some bad things in my youth. Did I? And some of these things I will not mention on this podcast because they will surely get me arrested. So we threw glass bottles. And that was one of the ways that we got kicks. out of, being, we're the kids in America. Oh, whoa, we're the kids in America. Oh, whoa. That's how we got some of our kicks. But, eventually that lost its luster. And the cops got me one time. And they were like, why are you hanging out with those boys down there? And I'm like, yeah, I wasn't with them. He's like, I saw you throw the bottles. And I was like, I didn't throw no bottles. He was like, where do you live, motherfucker? Because he couldn't arrest me. You can't do shit. I'm just breaking glass. So anyway. Once that ran its course, we were trying to figure out what else can we do. And we would always walk the same path down to Roosevelt, where it was kind of like a strip mall thing. You had the movie theater, and you had the beauty supply, and a restaurant, and GameStop. And back when Hollywood Video was still there, you had GameStop, and then Game Crazy next door. I think it was a laundromat there. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But there was a dollar store there as well. And we got the bright idea, why don't we steal from the dollar store? So I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go steal from the dollar store. And it started off with petty things, small things like sunglasses. We all went in there with the idea to steal sunglasses. So that was our goal. Who could steal the nicest pair of shades? And it escalated from there. Then it was like, okay, we like to rap on tape. Like we play like an instrumental from an outro of a rap song and then rap over it on tape. And back in the day, I used to have a podcast before it was called a podcast called The Chris Show. And I liked to record The Chris Show on tape, right? So it was like, okay, let's go steal a bunch of tapes. And we did that. And it was like, okay, fuck it, how much can we actually get away with here? So we went months. This fucking hat is burning my head up. So if you're watching this on the video experience, that's why I keep adjusting it. I don't know why. I keep putting this fucking hat on my head. Anyway, so it escalated from there. And it started. Now, you may be judging me. I was a child. Remember this, okay? I was a kid. But it started innocently enough. We were stealing things just for fun. But I didn't think we were hurting anybody, We weren't hurting anybody. People don't even use fucking tapes. Cassette tapes, VHS tapes. We don't use that shit no more. I didn't hurt nobody, okay? Stay over there with your judging eyes, okay? Your judging ears. So it started just for fun. But eventually, I fell out of favor with the dirty boys downstairs. And that was for another reason, which I might get into more detail later, but I used to record porn and sell it to people. I was a hustler as a kid, man. I used to record porn on tapes and sell it to people on the hush-hush. And I gave the dirty boys downstairs a sample of what I was able to record. I recorded it over our copy of Space Jam with Michael Jordan. I recorded it and I called it Spice Jam. It was just a collection of scenes and movies from the Spice Channel. If you remember what that is, am I dating myself a little bit? But I recorded the Spice Channel and I was like, here, look at this sample. And if you like this, I'll give you more, but you gotta pay, you little fucking dirty perverts. You gotta pay me, okay? $5 a tape, bitch, or else nothing. But they never gave my fucking sample tape back. They never gave me back my Spice Jam. Coming for you, Anthony, Jeremy, and Michael. Coming for my Spice Jam, you dirty bitch. So, but once I moved on from that phase of my life of stealing, I stole for food, and not because I was starving, but because I never ate the food that I wanted to eat. Damn it. I want sweets. I want sugar, bitch, and salt. I want potato chips and Snicker bars. Fuck your goddamn meatloaf. Okay? So I believe the rest of my petty thievery was revolved around stealing food. And sometimes my aunt could be a little, lackluster when it came to the meals she chose, and she knows this too. It was pretty lazy. Like, you would go out to a fucking fancy Mexican restaurant and bring back some leftover fajitas for your fucking self, and then leave us to forge whatever we could out of the mush that was in the fucking freezer. So I used to steal from me and my sisters. I used to steal some chips, bring back some candy for them. And they asked where I got it from. I bought it, bitch. Don't worry about it. I bought it. And the crazy thing about doing all of this, and remember, I'm going to pause here. Remember to comment down below, what was the biggest thing you ever stole? Maybe you went looting during the riots. Maybe that was your thing. And you actually were able to steal something bigger than I ever could. Maybe you live your life as a criminal and you've robbed a bank. Maybe you've stolen a car. I haven't done anything like that. So what's the biggest thing you stole? Or what's the smallest thing you've stolen? Or maybe stealing wasn't your thing and you did another petty thing. So comment. Bitch. So I stole mostly for food. And I think it escalated when I moved out of Chicago. Oh, sorry, I meant to close down that other thing I was saying. My aunt, she didn't put in a lot of effort a lot of nights when she was doing dinner, and we would fend for ourselves a lot. So I really wanted things that tasted good, even though looking back at it now, this shit was not good for me. That's probably why I don't have much of a sweet tooth nowadays, because I ate so much candy in my youth. And of course we had a candy store, then I had another candy store. You don't want to hear that shit. I mean, you do, because it's very interesting stories, and I'll get to that at a later episode. But now I'm talking about how I used to take shit from people. Not people, but, organizations and companies that could, they could part with it. They could part with it. They don't need it. So it escalated to when we moved out of Chicago to a suburb, and my aunt did not want to buy me new school clothes. She bought me like maybe 2 outfits, and the rest of my school clothes were old as fuck. And I wasn't up to date with the style of everything. And I had a new girlfriend who I was trying to impress, and she was on a cheerleading team. She was pretty and had status in the circle, and I wanted her to be seen with this fucking dude that was wearing styles from 2 years ago. No, that can't. I gotta look at least good on her arm, or, can't be embarrassed. I gotta have the baggiest of jeans. I gotta have the tackiest of belt buckles. You know what I mean? If you're from that fucking era, you know exactly what I mean, okay? I gotta have this shit. I gotta have it. So I started my stealing career all over again. And I would steal from Walmart. And this was my strategy, okay? My strategy was to first steal from Aldi. So I would go into Aldi, I would walk around, and if you know how Aldi's built, you can't just go in and out. You have to actually walk around the store, come in the entrance, then go out the exit, right? So I would steal 2 things from Aldi. It was either Snickers and Twizzlers or Reese's and Twizzlers, right? I would steal those things, stuff them in my pants, and then head to the register and buy a bag. Nothing else. I would just buy a bag. So it looked like I came in there to purchase something, right? So I buy a bag, it was 10 cent, 15 cent or some shit. I'll walk out. Then I would put the Reese's and the Twizzlers that I stole into the Aldi bag and walk to Walmart. So it looked like I actually bought them from Aldi. And I would walk into Walmart and I would steal one thing at a time. So either that day I was stealing jeans or that day I was stealing a polo shirt. It was one thing at a time. And I did that for months until I had 2 weeks worth of free new outfits. I had a polo shirt in every fucking color. Orange, red, blue, purple, white, black. Like, I had I had polos for every day of the week. I had new jeans, and my aunt was just so confused. Like, how did you come about this? You don't have a job. Like, don't fucking worry about it. Don't ask me no questions, bitch. Don't go over there and ask Walmart no questions. Ain't nothing happening here. Okay, I almost got caught one time, and I ran, and that spooked me, so I stopped. Right, so I went back too quick, right? Because you have to put a little break in between your stealing attempts. You gotta put a break in there, right? So you don't want to go and steal some jeans on Monday and then go back and steal the shirt on Tuesday. No. You want to steal the jeans on Monday, then go back on Thursday and steal the shirt, and you go back wearing a different outfit. Okay, but I think I didn't put the break in there. And I went back thirsty for a new outfit, and the, plain clothed security guard caught me on my way out the door, and he chased me. He's like, "Don't you go back in here?" I was like, "I'll be back." Bitch, like, I'm gonna be back. And eventually I was. But this is probably the last time I stole something. I used to also take from Food for Less, because at this point, the excitement of 5-finger discounting was back, and I had gotten to a point where I was comfortable in my skill set again. So I would go into the Food for Less that was across the street from the little community that we lived in, and I would steal from there. But when I stole from there, I stole meals, like microwavable shit, food, and snacks too. I would fill my backpack from school with shit, and it was just easy. It was like Ocean's 11 for petty thieves, So I did this for a long time, and I also used to steal alcohol from there. Why they left it in aisles without those little caps that protect it and probably will ring the alarms. This was before then. They used to just leave alcohol out in the aisle, and you could just take it. And that's what I did. I just fucking took it. And I did this for a while. And then there was some guy that was maybe 2 grades behind me that heard of my reputation. And it was a small reputation. I didn't let a lot of people know what I was doing. But he heard. And he was like, "I want to be under your tutelage. Can you teach me the ways of the petty thief?" And I was like, "Okay, let's see if you have some potential, okay?" First day, we get off the school bus, and I take him directly to the Food for Less, and I say, "You go your way, I go my way." That's it. That day, I didn't plan on taking much. I wanted to see if he would take anything. That day, I didn't plan on taking no motherfucking Hungry Man meals. I didn't plan on taking no 5th of gin. I didn't plan on taking nothing, but I took a fucking pack of Tic Tacs. That's all I took. This motherfucker filled his bag with an assortment of potato chips. And he got caught. And then you know what he said? He cried, first of all. He cried because, you're a kid, basically. I was maybe 17, 18 at the time, and he was maybe like 15. And he cried like he had just committed a double homicide. Like he had just murdered his fucking family. So he's crying like that, and he rats me out. He says, "Hey, it wasn't my idea. This was my mentor's idea." So I am already out of the store, and this motherfucker ratted me out. So I'm out of the store. I'm exiting the parking lot, and then as soon as I'm exiting, sweet freedom on the other side of the street, the fucking cops come and block my way. I'm like, "What the fuck do you want?" And he's like, "Empty your pockets." I'm like, "No." He's like, "Your friend ratted you out." And I'm like, "Shit." I believe, if my memory isn't failing me, that is the last time I've ever stolen anything. And if you want to know how that played out, I didn't get charged with anything. No misdemeanor, nothing's on my record. I did some sort of youth program where they try to turn you away from the darkness. And I did that for about a month and it was over. And then after that, you want to know what happened to the guy. I caught him. He tried to duck me for a very long time. He tried to duck me. I would see him almost every day before then. But since that moment, he's been trying to duck me. But I finally caught him. And if you hear that, that is the animal I adopted that doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. This fucking animal talks more than fucking I do. If anybody out there wants a fucking free cat, send me your email address. I will send you this cat. I rescued it, and it doesn't appreciate my efforts. And I'm about this close to eating it. Curious how this motherfucker will taste. Anyway, so I found him, and ironically enough, it was at the Food for Less that we both stole from. He saw me, and he instantly took off because he knew I was coming for that ass. He knew I was coming for that ass. And I had a little sexual way. And it was like, I think it was either during Halloween or Thanksgiving. They had a bunch of pumpkins out. And I caught him and I threw him in the pumpkin patch. I threw a pumpkin on him. And I didn't really want to hurt the kid. I could have really hurt him. I didn't want to hurt him. And that's how that chapter ended. And I was like, you know what? It's not worth it, because once you get really good at taking shit, people notice that you get really good at taking shit, and then they want to take shit too. They want you to mentor them, and ain't nobody trustworthy. The motherfuckers are gonna rat you out. And I was like, this whole world of criminality, it probably ain't for me because motherfuckers not trustworthy. If I want to steal, I can steal by myself. I don't need nobody ratting me out. You know, but once you become a criminal and you get linked in criminal circles, that's what it is. You're gonna have to trust your criminal circles, you know. And ain't no such thing as honor among thieves. No such thing. Anyway, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. Commenting and subscribing being your two sharpest weapons. Do that and I'll see you. Bye.